Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rohit. In this particular video, I am going to discuss about list and its built-in functions. So, first of all, before talking about the built-in functions, let us know what exactly is a list. So, what is a list? So, list is an unordered collection of elements of different data type separated by comma and enclosed within the square brackets is nothing but list. So what is a list? List is an unordered collection of elements of different data types separated by comma and enclosed within the square brackets. Let us take an example. List 1. In this list 1, I have 1. These are the elements 1, 2.5. My name Rohit, true, and 5 plus 6i. These are the elements present inside the list. So we all know that is list is mutable in nature, not immutable. List is mutable in nature. So what do we mean by mutability? Now talking about mutability. So what is mutability? Mutability is nothing but once the list is created, the elements inside it can be changed. Can be changed. So mutability as in once the elements inside it, once the list is created, the elements inside it can be changed. For example, if I want to change the first element, that is 1, from 2. So in order to do that, so in order to test this mutability, we have to be familiarized with two topics. First one is nothing but indexing. Second one is nothing but slicing. So, so what is indexing? Indexing is nothing but it is the technique to extract one element from a list. For example, I have a list 1 which is having elements 1 to 2.5, my name Rohit as a string, and the boolean value true, and a complex number which is 5 plus 6i. So this is a list which I am having. So in order to extract the value 1, we know that Python follows zero based indexing. indexing. That is when going from left hand side to the right hand side. And Python follows one based indexing when coming from right hand side to the left hand side. So in order to understand the concept of indexing better, let us consider a coordinate axis. As we have studied in mathematics in our schooling, this coordinate axis, this upper one is nothing but the positive y. This is the negative y. This is the positive x, and this is the negative x. So let us consider whenever we are going from left hand side to the right hand side. This is the direction we are going. Whenever we go from left hand side to the right hand side, that is the direction where my arrow is pointing. Then in that case, Python follows zero based. Whenever we are going from right hand side to the left hand side, RHS to LHS, then in that case we basically follow the one based indexing. As we are pointing, as my arrow is pointing towards negative axis, we also have to add a negative sign to the index value. So from the above list 1, if I want to extract the value of 1, then in that case I will use list 1 of 0. Why? Because we are going from left hand side to the right hand side. If I want to extract the complex number, then complex number, that is 5 plus 6i, then in that case I will be using list 1 of -1. With if I use this, I'm going to get the complex number 5 plus 6i. This is how indexing works. Now coming to slicing. What is slicing? Slicing is nothing but, in indexing, what we did, we, in order to extract only one element, we use the concept of indexing. But in order to extract more than one element, more than one element, then we use slicing. So this is also, in order to slice, we basically use the square brackets, but the indexes are separated by a colon. This slicing operator, this is known as the slice operator. And this slice operator will take three arguments or parameters. What are those? The first parameter is nothing but the start. The second one is nothing but the stop. Third is nothing but the step. These are the three parameters which the slice operator is going to take. So what does the start do? This start basically specifies at what point or index should we slice? Should we start slicing? Stop index, it will tell us at what point or index should we stop slicing. Step is nothing but, it will tell us at what point or index, at not at what point, by uh, this should be by what point or index should we jump while slicing. This is how a slicing works. So slicing is basically used to extract more than one element from a list. So for example, if I want to extract first three elements, so our list one was having, this is our list one, which is having the elements like 1, 2.5, Rohit, true boolean value, and a 5 plus 6i, a complex number. If I want to extract this 1, 2.5 and Rohit, in that case what I do is list 1 of the first starting index. So 1 is starting at 0th index, as we all know that Python is 0 based indexing, and 0, 1 and 2, it is ending at the second index. So my third element is being my third element is at the third place, that is the second index, but we have to specify it as 3. Why? Because in Python, if I in Python, what exactly happens is this starting index is included and this ending index is excluded. So excluded as in, for example, if you give Rohit is at a second index, if we give list one of 0 colon 2, then it is going to take only the first two elements into consideration, because the stopping index is excluded. It is not going to consider the third index. If we basically give it as 0 colon 3, then it is going to consider the first three elements, and it is going to not consider the third element, that is true. That is how index works. So the starting index is included and the ending index, that is the stop value, is excluded. This is how it works. Step value, as in, for example, if we basically give colon 1, then it is going to give us then it is going to skip the it is going to give me all the it is going to give me the same elements, that is 1, 2.5 and Rohit. But if I give the step value as 2, like for example list 1 of 0 colon 3 colon 2, then what it is going to do is it is going to give me every alternate element. So 0 to 3, as in, it has to give me 1, 2.5 and Rohit in general, if I don't specify the step value. But as I have specified the step value here, it is going to give me 1, it is going to eliminate this 2.5, and it is going to give me Rohit. That is how it works. So if the step value is equal to 2, then it is going to give me every alternate number. If the step value is 3, it is going to skip the two elements between the starting and the stopping index, and it is going to return all other elements. This is how slicing works. Now coming to built-in functions. Built-in functions. So what are built-in functions? Built-in functions are the functions which are pre-installed or come when we install Python. These functions will be pre-installed in Python. So whenever we install Python in our computer system, these functions will come automatically. So as far as list is concerned, these built-in functions are, one minute, built-in functions. So these built-in functions are basically categorized into two. One is based on addition, that is not addition, so basically not addition. It is being categorized as insertion and deletion. And if we want, we can also categorize these built-in functions into three, that is insertion, deletion and basic functions. So what is this? What are the insertion functions? So insertion functions are the functions which are used to insert an element into a list. What are those functions? The first function is nothing but the append function. What it is going to do? Append function is a function which is going to add an element at the end of the list. So as in, for example, if you take list 1 as 1 2.5 Rohit true 5 plus 6i. This is the original list which I am having. For example, if I want to append 2 element 2 to this particular list, so what I'll do, list 1 dot append of 2. So when I try to do this, what will be my resultant list is 1 2.5 Rohit true 5 plus 6i and 2. So what it is going to do, this append function is going to add that particular element at the end of the list. This is one of the function. Coming to the second function. Second function is nothing but the insert function. What it is going to do, this function is going to insert a value or an element at the specified index. So this insert will take two arguments. One, first is nothing but the value which is to be inserted, second is nothing but the index value, at which this element should be inserted. This is how insert functions work. Let us take an example. List 1 1 2.5 Rohit true 5 plus 6i and 2. This is, so if I want to add list 1 dot insert, sorry, I should be in lowercase only, insert of, so for example, if I want to add at the at the third index, if I want to add number 4, so first I have to give the value which is to be inserted and I have to specify the index value. So this particular code is going to insert the value 4 at third index, so 0 1 2 3. So after Rohit and before true, it is going to add 4. So the resultant list will look like, list 1 is nothing but 1 2.5 Rohit comma 4 comma true comma 5 plus 6i comma 2. This is my resultant list after inserting. Next coming to the extend function. Next is nothing but the extend function. So what is this extend function going to do? Extend function is a function which is going to extend two lists. So what do we mean by extension of two lists? Let us consider I'm having list L1 wherein I'm having elements like 1, 2.5, Rohit, 4, true, 5 plus 6i, and 2. These are the elements which I'm having. And there is another list L2 which is having elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are the elements which my second list is having. So this extend function, it is going to extend these two lists as one list. So the resultant list will be like so in order to extend this, what we'll do is L1 dot extend of L2. So what it is going to do is it is going to add all the elements present in L2 to L1, and it is going to give us only one list. Or we can also, what we can do is we can also create one more list. L3 is equal to L1 dot extend of L2. Then it is going to create one list L3 wherein it will have all the elements pertaining to list 1 and list 2. So when so my L3 now will be 1, 2.5, Rohit, 4, true, 5 plus 6i, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is how extend function works. So extend function is basically, instead of using two lists, this extend function will basically create create only one list where it will have the elements of both the first list as well as the second list. This is how extend function works. Now coming to the functions pertaining to deletion. So what are these deletion functions? These functions are the functions which are used to remove or delete an element or a group of elements from a list. This is how deletion works. So in deletion also there are four different types of functions. First function is nothing but the pop function. So what does this pop function do? This function is a function. This function is a type of deletion function which basically returns the element, not elements, element which is deleted. As in, for example, if I'm having a list 1 L1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, these are the elements present inside the list. So if I want to remove the number 2, so what I'll do is L1 dot pop of, I'll pass the index value, that is 1. So because as we go from the left hand side, that is LHS to RHS, then it is going to follow a 0 based index. So it is 0, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So if I want to remove the element which is present at the first index, then I will use L1 dot pop of 1. Then the output of this following code will be 2. Why? Because according to the definition, it returns the element which is being deleted. So as we have deleted the element 2, it is going to return us 2. The second function is nothing but the del function. Del function is also del function, what it does is it simply deletes the particular element which we wanted to do. For example, I am having L1 is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. For example, if I want to remove 2, so del L1 of 1. then what it is going to do is, when I print L1, then it is going to give us 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it is going to simply delete the particular element 2, and it is going to return me, when I try to print the particular list, it is going to give me a list without that particular element. Next, third, coming to remove. Remove also basically is similar to delete, but what it does is it simply deletes the particular element as delete del functions do del function do element, but the difference is here, instead of passing the index value, here we pass the element directly, as in C. As in C, let us consider I'm having L1, which is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These are the elements. So if I want to remove 2, so what I'm going to do is L1 dot remove. Instead of specifying the index value, I'm going to specify the direct element directly. So I'm going to remove 2, I'm specified it as 2. So when I try to print the value of L1, it is going to be 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Same. So this is how remove works. Now coming to the last function as far as deletion is concerned, that is nothing but the clear function. So what it is going to do, it is going to remove or delete all the elements present inside a list. So clear, what it is going to do, it is going to remove or delete all the elements present inside a list. So when for example, if I'm having a list L1 wherein 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the elements. If I use L1 dot clear, then what it is going to do is it is going to remove all the elements, and it is going, when I try to print L1, it is going to give me a normal empty list. And for example, if you want to create an empty list, and if you want to append all the elements you need to the particular list, then in that case the empty list can be created in two ways. Either L1 as list of, which is a function, this is a built-in function in order to create a empty list, or what you can do is L1 is equal to, you can simply give a square bracket, two square brackets. So these are the two ways using which we can basically create an empty list. And to this particular list, using append or insert, we can basically add elements to this particular empty list. So these are the different deletion built-in functions uh, present in lists. Now coming to the basic functions. Basic functions present in lists. First function, sort function. So what is sort going to do? Sort is basically going to sort the elements in ascending order. This is how sort works. Next, index function. Index function. So index function is basically used to find the index of that particular element. So This index function basically takes one argument, that is the element whose index should be given as output. Next, third, max function. What does max function do? It returns the maximum value from the list. So for example, if I'm having L1 where 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, these are the elements. So when I try to do max of L1, then it is going to return me 1, because sorry, it is going to return 6. It is going to return 6. Why? Because 6 is the maximum value out of all the elements present inside the list L1. Next, fourth, coming to the fourth function, that is the min function. So min is basically vice versa of opposite of maximum function. It basically returns the minimum uh, element from a list. That is L1 is equals to 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So minimum of L1, sorry, let me write neatly, minimum of L1, then it is going to return 1 as output, because the value 1 is a minimum value from the list L1. Next, coming to the fifth one, next is nothing but copy. So copy function is basically used to make a copy of the list, of the existing list. So here in copy, this copy is basically divided into two. One is nothing but the shallow copy, and another one is nothing but the deep copy. So what is shallow copy? A shallow copy, for example, let us consider there is a list L1. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and when I try to do L1 is L2 is equals to L1 or L1, then in that case what exactly it is going to do is, so when I try to access L1, it is also going to have the same elements as L1. But the difference between a shallow copy and the deep copy is, so when I try to add an element to L1, these changes are reflected in L2 as well. Why? So for example, L1, I've added an element 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. This is my L1. So when I try to do a shallow copy, L2 will also be 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Why? Because both L1 and L2 are pointing to same memory location. As they are pointing to same memory location, if the changes are made to one list, then those changes are being reflected, will get reflected in the other list also. This is how shallow copy works. If but what does deep copy do? For example, if I'm having L1 which is having 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and if I do L1 is equal L2 is equals to L1 dot deep copy, then in that case what L2 will also have same elements 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. But the main difference between shallow and deep copy is, if I try to make a change in L1, that particular change will not get reflected in L2. This is the main difference between shallow copy and deep copy, which is very important, and this is one of the most important interview question. Next, length function. So how many functions? 1 minute. Okay. Length function. So length. So what this length function do? It is going to return the length of that particular list. 7. Next is nothing but CMP function. So what does this CMP do? CMP basically compares two lists. So as in, for example, in L1 there are 7 elements and L2 6 elements. So what it is going to do, it is going to compare these two lists. As L1 is having more elements when compared to L2, then it is going to basically so basically compare what it does is it is going to compare two lists, whether the elements present in the first list and the elements present in the second list are same or not. If if L1 is having 7 elements and L2 is having 6 elements, in that case L1 is greater than L2. If L1 is having 7 and L2 is also having 7, then in that case both the lists are same. This is how it compares. Next, eighth function. Eighth function is nothing but the sum function. What does the sum function do? For example, I'm having a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is L1. So when I try to do L1 dot sum or sum of L1, 1 minute, sorry, sum of L1, then in that case what it is going to do, it is going to add all the elements and it is going to return the sum of the elements. That is 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 4 10, 10 plus 5 15, 15 plus 6 21. So the output of this sum function for that particular list L1 is going to be 21. Next, ninth, count function. So count function is basically going to count the number of elements. It is also similar to the length function, but it is going to count. So the count of L1 is going to be 6. Next, 10th is nothing but the reverse function. What is this reverse function going to do? This reverse function will basically return a list by reversing the elements. The elements, as in, for example, I'm having L1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If I use a reverse function, that is reverse of L1, then in that case it is going to give me as 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Wait a second. 6, 5, 4, 3 and 6 5 4 3 2 and 1. So the reverse, basically it will return a list by reversing the elements present inside the particular list. So this is how reverse function work. So these are the different built-in functions, and this is how lists work as far as indexing and slicing is also concerned. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed, and hit the bell icon for more notifications and videos. And I'm going to show you all these built-in functions practically in my next video. Until then, stay safe, keep learning and keep growing. Bye bye.